Chapter 9. Thank you, my Mr. X. If you are enjoying these audio reads, please like and subscribe to the channel and most importantly share with other fans of the BL community. The gene synthesis project in the research lab was progressing sluggishly, with several critical technical hurdles remaining unresolved. Chen Pingming submitted a new proposal and suggested to Sheng Shaoyou that they consider offering a lucrative offer to poach Sheng Wenlang. Sheng Xiao saw about it and decided not to act rashly. Sheng Wenlang's technical team members all held equity in the technology. They were his confidants and unlikely to be easily swayed. A hasty move would not only have low success rate, but could also put them on guard. Chen Pingming glanced at the craft paper envelope on the desk and hesitated before suggesting whether they should try starting with Hua Yong instead. Chen Pingming had already done his homework on Hua Yong's background. Hua Yong had a high level of education and outstanding appearance, making him highly valued by Sheng Wenlang. Recently, Sheng Wenlang had even brought Hua Yong along to the board of directors' decision-making meetings, showing no hesitation about his presence. Sheng Shaoyou was displeased upon hearing this, his expression darkening. He thought to himself, even at board meetings, he doesn't mind Hua Yong's attendance, yet Hua Yong can afford his sister's medical bills and still has to work in city establishments, serving tables just to make quick cash. According to the investigation, Hua Yong's loyalty to HS stemmed from a scholarship Sheng Wenlang had given him during his university days. Sheng Wenlang had also arranged for Hua Yong's sister to stay at his hospital. To repay this kindness, Hua Yong had signed a 15-year contract with HS while still in university. Sheng Wenlang's treatment of Hua Yong wasn't stingy, but Hua Yong's sister was hospitalized in a private ward that burned through money like paper in a fire, leaving him in desperate need of cash. Chen Pingming analyzed that with a generous reward, there would always be brave souls willing to take action. As long as the money was spent wisely, winning over Hua Yong, who, according to the strategy guide, already harbored gratitude towards Sheng Shaoyou, was highly possible. Sheng Shaoyou wasn't particularly moved by this suggestion. He simply thought Hua Yong was foolish, so good-looking yet unable to leverage his own advantages. And he's supposed to be a high-achieving academic. Absolutely clueless when it comes to being flexible. What waste of that face? If it were anyone else with even a shred of cunning, being subjected to workplace harassment by someone as wealthy and prominent as Sheng Wenlang would surely have prompted them to exploit the situation for significant financial gain. But Hua Yong? He didn't know how to take advantage of such shortcuts at all. This stubborn Omega would rather hold back tears in his eyes while pleading with his doctors for an extension on surgery payments. Not to mention extortion, he probably hadn't even considered resigning. Enduring sexual harassment yet refusing to leave Sheng Wenlang, it was all actually because of some foolish sense of gratitude. Sheng Shaoyou rubbed the slightly upturned corner of a craft paper envelope. His mood sour. He resented the fact that it wasn't him who had funded Hua Yong's education and, at the same time, wished he could drag a filthy wolf who dared to harass his own innocent subordinate over and skin him alive. At 下午7点30分, Sheng Shaoyou, who rarely ate dinner at home, received a message from Hua Yong. Hua Yong asked if he had received the money. Sheng Shaoyou had initially typed out "I received it," but after a moment's thought, he deleted it and instead replied, "No." Hua Yong seemed extremely anxious and immediately called, though the call was promptly hung up. A few seconds later, the foolish orchid with strong self-esteem sent another message. "Mr. Sheng, may I call you if it's convenient?" Sheng Xiao chuckled and called him back. "Mr. Sheng." Hua Yong's voice was very soft on the other end of the phone, as if he was secretly calling him while hiding from someone. Sheng Xiao responded with a low and asked, "What are you up to? Why are you being so sneaky? This late?" Sheng Xiao frowned, his tone tinged with sarcasm. Sheng Wenlang really knows how to use his people, doesn't pay much but sure knows how to keep them busy. Speaking of money, Hua Yong's voice grew slightly louder, though it remained soft and polite. "Mr. Sheng, the money I repaid today, you didn't receive it." Sheng Shaoyou deliberately teased him. "What money?" Hua Yong grew anxious. "The craft paper envelope asked Secretary Chen to hand to you." "Oh, that one. Did you get it?" "No," Sheng Shaoyou replied casually. "Did you start paying me back?" "Why don't I know about it?" Hua Yong's breathing quickened. "That's impossible. Secretary Chen promised to pass it on for me." Sheng Shaoyou could almost imagine his pale, worried face on the other end of the line. His heart clenched lightly, a mix of itchiness and numbness spreading within him. Acting indifferent, he asked, "What time do you get off work?" Hua Yong hesitated, seemingly puzzled by the question, but obediently answered, "It will take another half an hour." Sheng Xiaoyu glanced at his watch, calculating the time it would take to drive from his place to HS. He said, "It's hard to explain over the phone. I happen to be on the way, so I'll pick you up after work. We can talk in person then." Hua Yong, clearly nervous about the whereabouts of his 20,000 yuan, agreed without much hesitation. Sheng Shaoyou dismissed his driver early and impulsively drove the car to the front of HS headquarters by himself. When he arrived, there were still 10 minutes left before his agreed time with Hua Yong. Reclining in the driver's seat, Sheng Shaoyou tilted his head back and closed his eyes to rest. A few minutes later, a light thud tapped on the car window. Sheng Shaoyu opened his eyes to see Hua Yong leaning slightly toward his car, hesitantly peeking in. Today, Hua Yong was dressed in a professional suit, making him look more mature than when he had worn a sweater, but not by much. The winter night was bitterly cold. Hua Yong's nose and cheeks were flushed red from the chill. Sheng Shaoyu pressed the unlock button, and Hua Yong quickly pulled open the door, shivering as he climbed in. "Close the door," Sheng Shaoyu snapped, displeased that he left the door half open, looking as if he only planned to say a few words and then leave immediately. His previously mild expression turned cold as he added in low voice, "It's freezing." Startled by Sheng Xiaoyu's tone, Hua Yong immediately obeyed and shut the door. With the heater on, the temperature inside the car gradually rose. Hua Yong stopped trembling, but he still looked frail and cold. Hugging his arms, he tilted his face up, his expression a mix of worry and innocence as he anxiously asked, "Mr. Sheng, about that money." "Oh, that." Sheng Xiaoyu replied lightly, "Chen Pinming sent me a message saying he forgot to give it to me this afternoon. He'll pass it along tomorrow at the office." "But what?" Sheng Xiaoyu cut him off. "Doesn't your sister still need follow-up treatment? You'll have many expenses ahead of you. If you return all the money to me, how will you afford your sister's medical bills? Cry to the doctors again and beg for more time?" Hua Yong immediately fell silent, lowering his head. His soft lips pressed together lightly as he thought for a long moment before finally whispering, "Thank you, Mr. Sheng." Hearing that soft Mr. Sheng, Sheng Xiaoyu felt an inexplicable sense of satisfaction wash over him. He even returned the gesture with an uncharacteristically gentle smile. When Hua Yong lifted his head, he happened to meet Sheng Xiaoyu's smile head-on. His face instantly turned an even deeper shade of red, and his delicate, petite earlobes flushed so much they seemed as if it might start dripping blood. With a hint of mischief, Sheng Xiaoyu leaned in and pretended to ask, "Are you feeling hot? Why is your face so red?" And no, not feeling hot, Hua Yong averted his gaze, his eyes flickering nervously. He hesitated before asking, "Mr. Sheng, can I add you on WeChat?" "Sure." Sheng Xiao took out his phone generously and let Hua Yong scan his QR code. JVR 8VN. Hua Yong's face remained flushed as he scanned it, then quickly put away his phone. He earnestly thanked Sheng Xiaoyu again before opening the car door and stepping out. That night, Sheng Xiaoyu deliberately waited until he was about to fall asleep before finally approving Hua Yong's friend request. "You have added synchronized swimming. You can now start chatting." And not long after the request was accepted, Hua Yong sent their first message. "Synchronized swimming. Hello, Mr. Sheng. I'm Hua Yong." Sheng Xiaoyu set his phone down and purposely ignored it. It wasn't until after the morning meeting ended the next day that he leisurely took out his phone and typed a reply. "Leisurely drifting. Got it." Unexpectedly, Hua Yong responded immediately. "Synchronized swimming. Mr. Sheng, I baked some cookies this morning and had them delivered to your company's front desk. I wasn't sure what flavors you liked, so I made the original flavor. I hope you won't mind and that you'll enjoy them." Cookies? Sheng Xiaoyu didn't have much of a sweet tooth and rarely ate cookies. But that morning's meeting had dragged on for too long, and he happened to be feeling a bit hungry. So, he called Chen Pinming over and had him retrieve Hoyong's cookies from the front desk downstairs. TGCUC9. Sheng Xiaoyu had received all sorts of expensive gifts before. Homemade cookies seemed rather humble in comparison. But they were generously made, filled with sincerity. That orchid might be clumsy, but his baking skills weren't bad. The cookies weren't overly sweet, baked to a perfect balance of crispness and softness. Inside the bag, there was even a small handwritten note from Hua Yong, filled with cheerful scribbles, briefly sharing his experience of baking that day. "This is the second batch I made today. The first batch got a little burnt because the temperature wasn't controlled well during baking, but I didn't waste them. I ate them all. Sheng Xiao found amusing. He opened WeChat and sent Hua Yong message. Leisurely drifting. It's best not to eat burnt cookies. They're carcinogenic. Hua Yong was probably busy, as it took him over half an hour to reply. Synchronized swimming. I made sure to spit out the burnt parts. When Sheng Xiao received his reply, he had been sternly reprimanding his subordinates. Seeing Hua Yong's message, his expression softened a little. With a wave of his hand, he magnanimously dismissed them, letting those who had made minor mistakes quickly scurry out. Ever since that first act of kindness, nearly every day afterward, Sheng Xiao had cookies to eat. In the office drawer, the little notes Hua Yong had written, full of trivial, insignificant things, were piling up more and more. It gave Sheng Shaoyou an odd illusion, as if he, a man in his 20s, was in some kind of elementary school romance. Sheng Shaoyou had never been in a serious relationship before. Besides, kids these days probably weren't even this innocent anymore. What kind of era was this? And yet, they were still using the old method of passing notes like love-stuff school children. But for some reason, Sheng Xiao found himself completely taken by it. Gradually, he became like a fish accustomed to being fed delicious bait every day. He even started to anticipate, the night before, what flavor of cookies he would receive the next day. Hua Yong's WeChat moments were filled with content. The first time Sheng Xiaoyu clicked in, he was momentarily stunned by the profile cover, a casually snapped photo of Hua Yong. It was a full-face shot. Hua Yong held a mug with an orchid painted on it, wearing a plain sports hoodie, his head tilted slightly as he beamed at the camera. As if possessed, Sheng Xiaoyu's fingers hovered over the photo, then long pressed to save it. After that, he wasted an entire afternoon scrolling through Hua Yong's fragmented yet utterly unremarkable moments feed. Hua Yong's daily life was simple, but there were plenty of amusing little mishaps mixed in. For example, this post. I'm so dumb. I set my alarm wrong, woke up late, then took the wrong subway and ended up arriving at work exactly a minute late. AHH. Goodbye, my full attendance award. The accompanying image was a meme of a cat howling at the sky, weeping like a devastated tiger. Most of Hua Yong's posts recorded his daily moods commuting to and from work, his visits to the hospital, and other small moments in his life. One particular post caught Sheng Xiaoyu's eye. It was a picture of a single cloud floating in the vast blue sky. The caption read, "His words are harsh, but his heart is softer than the clouds." Thank you, my Mr. X. Sheng Xiaoyu's heart skipped a beat. He immediately checked the date and realized it was the same day he had run into Hua Yong in the elevator, when his foul mood had led him to humiliate him, only to impulsively cover his sister's surgery expenses shortly after. Mr. X, huh? Sheng Xiaoyu couldn't help but smile. This orchid was indeed quite long-winded. Nevertheless, he did have just a tiny bit of cuteness as well.